Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the FoxieMooseShow, episode 11. I'm your host, Tyler Godet, aka Foxy Moose, and I'm here to analyze your favorite characters, but in today's case, your favorite skins. For those who are new here, I'm a character concept artist that enjoys helping people learn while inspiring creativity in others. For today's show, we will be seeing what makes Akali, the KDA Akali skin so awesome. At least to me, it looks freaking amazing. All right, let's get into it. All right, so you see I have some artwork pulled up here. The one on the right-hand side, whoops. The one on the right-hand side here, let's get a pink, is, this is by Paul Kwan, right here, aka Zeronis, an artist that I look up to quite a bit, actually. And on the left, I don't know who the illustrator is for this, but it does belong to Riot Games. I mean, they both do, but I don't know who the illustrator for this piece was. But in any case, what we're going to be doing, like I said, is figuring out what makes KDA Akali so awesome. Hopefully, this video isn't as long as my previous videos, just because there's not as much to go through with it being a skin. So there's not much of a there's not much of a process to go through. So obviously this is a skin for Akali, and the main things you want to really point out for a skin are let's see if we can extend a little bit here. Let's see if we can start writing some stuff down. Obviously you want to, let's go to a blue here, make it a bit easier. There's some things you want to keep in mind are like the silhouette. Like you want to make sure, I think I'm about to spell silhouette wrong, but yeah, I think that's right. The silhouette, which is really important to make sure that the character is still identifiable and memorable in the game. There's been situations where characters from like Overwatch, for example, look like I think it was like a McCree skin or a Reaper skin. I think it was High Noon Reaper or something like that, and he looks pretty close to McCree, which is really bad because the whole point of the silhouette is to be able to tell what the character is at a glance. And obviously, I actually have a picture here to show what that might look like. It's one of them. Give me a second. Well, this is by Larry, the Bravo Ray, longtime artist over at Riot. And you can see that the main thing that you're gonna see in the game is this hairstyle. This hairstyle is what really stands out on the character, because in MOBAs you want to have the silhouette be big at the top, because anything at the bottom is going to disappear because of the camera angle. So for example, this kind of like bag, this like kind of travel bag, which is a great story element, this kind of travel bag almost disappears in the game, simply because of it being almost below the body. And obviously we want her weapons to kind of stand out. And there's a different one. Yeah, I have a really badly rendered image of Akali here. Or is it really badly? I don't know. Anyway, you can see that from this camera angle, you can kind of see the bag is still there, just because of this current camera angle. And then this hairstyle is really what like makes you see that, okay, that's Akali, that's what we're gonna remember her by. So, and the I think it's like her sickle, whatever. Her sickle and her dagger. Those are the things that really stand out about this character that make you feel like, okay, that's Akali at a glance. Because she moves very fast, so you have to be able to tell who's approaching you, especially in a high-paced game like League of Legends. So here we obviously see that we actually have an in-game shot. Yeah, we have an in-game shot here. We can see that the silhouette is basically the same here. Where's that layer? The silhouette is basically the same here. Like you have this kind of shape that's like, it's kind of like a sideways teardrop almost. It's really cool. Um, and that basically, and you still have the sickle that's the same shape, and you have the dagger that's the same shape. Obviously, there's no bag, but the bag wasn't relatively important to begin with. So you can still tell that 3 out of 4 of her things that break the silhouette are still there, and that's amazing. Um, that's what you want to aim for with every skin. You can get as wild as you want as long as the silhouette doesn't drastically change. And I think this is a really good example of how to do that while making a character look awesome. So let's analyze a bit more and see what's actually awesome about this design. So in terms of story, skins tell a story, but it's very it's not canon. So you can kind of just do whatever you want for the most part, as long as it reads as something. So what's going to be more important for skins are the tropes. What the character identifies as. Obviously, she's still an assassin, so you still want to use like a lot of points, as we can see here. There's a lot of like points and stuff that's being used for her hair. The cap, obviously, there's some things you can't change just because of the way they function. So the cap is still like kind of this rounded thing. But you also have this sickle coming out that creates that shape. You have this, the edge of it making that point. You have her jacket kind of making points. They're kind of soft points, but they're still counted as points. But either way, this stuff isn't as important as the silhouette for the most part. They're still important, but just not as important. You can see here we have this triangle, and we have like other triangles throughout the character. But overall, I think this was really, really, really well done. So yeah, she's an assassin. So we're showing that using like points and stuff. She even has like this kind of like Chinese-esque dragon going on. So like little sperm cells, but okay. Her trope is going to be a rapper. Like she's a hip hop rapper. And that came through so clear. So amazing. I realized that like this skin made me realize what my style is. I really am drawn to stuff like the hip hop street style. And I was doing a bit of research after I saw the skin get revealed, and man, this skin is just, it really is like a eye opener for me and made me realize what I actually enjoy in art. But you can see that she has a bomber jacket on. The bomber jacket has a hood, which is amazing. So she has a bomber jacket with a hood on, which is a big like street thing. Like they have like some kind of jackets. Usually, you have like the kind of sports bra going on, which is a big thing in streetwear, just because you want to have like that kind of freedom on the upper body. But she's not breakdancing. So if she was breakdancing, she would have to take off the jacket. And fun fact, females that breakdance are called B-girls sometimes. And obviously males that breakdance are called B-boys. But I like to draw girls. So yeah. We're going to focus on her. That's why she looks awesome to me. She looks like a really cool B-girl. And then we have tights. Tights are another big thing. Either tights or like sweatpants work out really well. But in this case, I think the tights with the stripes look awesome, because another big thing is breakdancers used to wear a lot of like nylon, like the striped nylon sweats. Because they allowed for a lot of movement and freedom of your legs and stuff, without getting too restricting. And they usually had like the stripes on it just for like show. So that's why that looks kind of reminiscent of like a hip hop style, is because of that line. And also because we have hip hop styles usually do have like one leg down, one leg up, and this is an amazing display of that. You have the tights with that style showing, and you even have it comes back down just for that extra sense of like style. So that's really awesome. And then obviously you have on sneakers, which are awesome. I mean, me personally, I have a rough time drawing sneakers, which I had to do some more research on and stuff. But sneakers look awesome. And I saw in the concept art that that Jesse Lee did, he had like there were like yellow shoes. I wonder why they changed it. I really liked the bright. I guess it drew too much attention to the feet because they were like this bright yellow shoe. So I guess it did draw a little bit too much attention. But either way, it came out awesome. Came out super awesome. One thing I was a bit disappointed about was the microphone. I understand that this is her weapon and you can't really change her silhouette, but I think it would have been a cool idea to just kind of add that microphone on there. Like, oh man, having that microphone on the dagger would be like sick. I would have really enjoyed that. But I'm pretty sure they've thought about it and would like there must have been some good reason for them not to do it, because it's too easy. It's too easy to do it. So there had to be a really good reason for them not to do it. But I would have really liked to see that, and her maybe like do some emceeing on the mic. But yeah, so she's still recognizable, as we said earlier. She has some pretty cool features that really help her identify her trope. And now let's get into some shapes and motifs and more concept art design stuff as opposed to just general stuff. So shapes, we talked about how there's like teardrop shapes going on. If you were to like, do this kind of thing, you have this kind of like really nice teardrop shape going on for the hair. But that's not really repeated anywhere else. But she does kind of have this kind of like diamond motif almost. Like this is a heart, which I don't understand why it's a heart, but she has this kind of like diamond motif with the coat coming on like that. And they did. Let's look at this. Let's look at the image from in-game again. They did this really well because this is a lot of detail. Like in the coat, it's a lot of detail because of all these diamond shapes. But the way they work is that they added detail close to her face, which is like, obviously from a design standpoint, that's where you want to draw the characters. That's where you want to draw the audience's attention. It's the character's face or the weapon sometimes. But I think these do a really good job of kind of controlling that detail and pointing it in a direction. And obviously, for a skin, this isn't too much that you want to think. I mean, I don't know. I'm going to say, in my personal opinion, you always want to think about your focal point when you're designing a character and whatnot. But for some reason, with all these little diamond bubbles going on, it's not too distracting because you have these tights that are kind of like a good rest area that it's like, okay, my eye is not trying to analyze everything all at once. It's like, okay, I can look at all the diamonds, cool. And then I can go to the hair, for example. I can go to the hair and be like, that's a nice cooldown period. Okay, then I can go back and look at the hat. It's like, okay, then I can go back to the hair. And that's basically how this design is set up at the moment. And I think it's awesome that you have this big hair shape with all these details next to the face. So it's all kind of contained within this like one area. And it has a really nice... it makes a really nice flow to the character design. And that's really important. Flow is extremely important in character design because you always want to lead the eye somewhere. Like even right now, you can see that there's a flow line coming from the tip of the hat right here, like it's coming here, and then it's coming into the arm, and then to the tip of the dagger. And then it actually, if you extend this a bit more, it'll even reach the tip of the hair. Now, obviously, this is a still image, but this is the type of flow that's like really, really important. See if we can find another one. So you have here, you have the tip of the where her sickle ends. It comes all the way down into her leg, and then kind of like it falls out through her leg, which is like a really, really nice flow. Those are the things you really want to understand and see. And even here, you have this like dark line right here that kind of comes in. It flows off of the hair and past the hat, and then it comes out this way. Those are really good things. You always want to lead something to the focal point, and this design does a really good job at doing that. So again, just to recap on that, it's okay to have all of these like diamond shapes if they're well controlled, which they are here. I wonder what would have happened if they flipped this kind of upside down. If it came in like if it was kind of like an upside down heart, and then it pointed back up, because that would have been a really nice flow. It would have led from that ab line into the face. That would have been really nice, but that's just my 2 cents. I do like the current design right now and the way it works. In terms of motifs, like I said, there's like these diamond shapes going on. And just for those who don't know, a motif is a shape that's constantly repeated, just to kind of give that kind of symbolism and to make the characters' attire feel like it's for them. So if you have a bunch of like hearts everywhere, you'll be like, okay, maybe these hearts were like on the shoes or something. And then it's like, okay, this character has a bunch of hearts, but again, you see that kind of text. So that changes the character. That makes her a bit more friendly if you add hearts. So I like that they just added one, just for the sake of design. I would have liked to see it upside down. I think it would have been a lot cooler upside down. But in any case, oh, she has a microphone on. I actually didn't notice that. She has a face mic on. Now we already talked about design balance. Let's see if there's other areas where we can do it, where it's like rest versus controlled detail. So in this image particularly, you have the busy area going on. Basically, it leads all the way up to this face. So this whole arm is like super busy. Like this whole area is like busy. And then you have a rest area right here, which is like her bracelet. And then you have the abs, which are a huge rest area, which is like really, really important, because then we can take a break from all of the detail and just look in there and say, okay, that's where we can rest. You can kind of make the breast kind of a rest area as well. And then down here, you have, now this isn't a matter of rest versus detail. It's a matter of size variation. Now, you basically, what size variation is, and some people like to think about it in terms of large, medium, small, which is really, really a good way to think about it. But I personally like to think about it in terms of size variation. Now, what this means to me is that basically you want to have all different shapes and sizes, and generally you want to have large, medium, small. So here, for example, you have this large shape right here that goes into this leg. Let's see if we can use different colors. So you have that large shape going into the leg, and then maybe you have this small shape right here. And that's a really good, that's a start of size variation. Now, usually it's a good idea to keep it in thirds. Thirds is just a general good rule of thumb. 3 is always a good number. So the medium part, the third size variation piece, is going to be the thigh. Now, what this does is it basically says it goes from this small kind of like this small area to this large area to this medium area, and then kind of goes back to like this large area on this leg. But the whole purpose is to break up monotony. You don't want to see the same shape, and the sameness is boring. Unless it's intended, sameness is boring. So I think this design does a really good job. And then you have, obviously, you have small detail areas. And small detail areas are, like I said, small detailed areas. Anything that's small is generally a detail. So this hat, I would consider the hat a detail, just because of the way it is, if that makes any sense. And then you have this small detail on the side of the face. And then obviously the face, to me, the face is always going to be detailed. Like that's a really big detail area. And then you have this really nice cool down area in the hair, as we stated before. So I think this design is amazing. It's like, seriously, it just looks awesome. It feels awesome. I would really, I really like it, like a ton. And then you have this is another important part. You can see that we have the design, like there's a design on the hoodie. And obviously this is a small, let's get this right. This is obviously a small detailed area. Um, and this is kind of small. But the reason, oh, this replaces her little travel bag. It's pretty cool. Um, the reason you can put something like this on her back is because, again, they were designing for a MOBA game. And that means you're going to be seeing the top half of the character quite a bit, way more than the bottom half. And you're going to be seeing them from the back a lot. So they put that little piece of eye candy. That's what basically think of small details as like eye candy. That's exactly what they are. They're just little pieces of eye candy that, like, once you get into the whole overall image, it's like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? It's like that's basically what small details are. And then lastly, I want to touch on the values. I think we should go to the in-game one here. So if I go ahead and make a new layer, and let's put this in grayscale. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to black. I set a hotkey to fill my entire canvas. So basically I'm gonna fill this, and then I'm gonna go to hue, and then I'm gonna go to, I'm just gonna mask that so everything else is kind of the same color. And then boom, we have a grayscale. So you can see here that it's a good rule of thumb to think of the, like, what is it, like 80-20 rule. Basically you want to have 80% of something, and then have it offset by 20% of something else. And that applies to everything. So here they're using it in terms of in values. So you can see that they have 80% of darkness. You have all these dark areas like the jacket and whatnot. You have the hat. You have the hair. What else? And then you have the pants going into the feet. I should not have drawn that on this layer. Fudge. Okay. Let's draw this. So again, we have all these dark areas going on, and they're basically, all the dark areas are broken up by the little bit of light areas that are there. So it's just not all the same, and it makes it look really interesting. So you can see that as I'm starting to break it up, it's like you have this light area followed by this light area, which is like the skin. You have this is basically like a whole light area. You have this down here, the belt down there is a light area. You have this, the trim of the hat and like the face. And then you have the weapon, which is also a good value against the background of the map. So you can see that there's like little bits of areas that are like actually light, and then the rest are like just dark. And that's a good way to balance things in your designs, is to think about the values and really consider first of all, what the game looks like, what the character has. So basically what the majority of the values are, and how well something needs to show. So obviously the face needs to be contrasted on the background and contrasted with the outfit, in addition to the weapon. Basically, if you look at it like this, all the important parts are light. So you have the weapon is a light value. The skin is a light value. Obviously that's like a collateral from the face, like, because the face has to be a light value since everything's dark. Skin, belt. Basically all the important stuff are like light values. And that's literally just to make everything stand out and to look more appealing to the eye. Because design is all about making something appealing to the eye. And with that, I think we're going to wrap up today's show. I was pretty happy about this episode, mainly because I was really excited to analyze this skin here. Because the skin, again, is like super awesome. And yeah, I was just really excited to start working on it. Um, I'm gonna end off the show by with some notes. You know, if you guys like the video, please hit that like button. If you didn't like the video, you know, you can hit the dislike button too if you want to. Be sure to comment if you have any comments at all. I don't care if they're negative, bad, whatever. Just feel free to comment. I'll try to get back to you if it's any questions or anything like that. Any characters or any skins you would like to see analyzed in a similar fashion, you know, just comment it below. And be sure to hit the notification bell because I do try to upload videos at least once a week. And if you want to donate to me, just even $1 or so, that's completely up to you. If you don't have the money to do it, that's more than, it's okay. But if you would like to donate like $1 or so or $3, you can go to my Ko-Fi link or coffee link down below, and you can buy me a coffee. And there's some extra links down there that you might find helpful or useful. And be sure to follow me on social media if you like to see any of my artwork being posted, as well as anything else going on that I do share. I'm most active on Twitter though. So if you really want to be part of my community, you can be active on Twitter or follow me on Twitter. And if you guys, I have a Discord, but I'm not sure if I should open it up or not. I haven't like really thought of a use, but if you guys would like to come out and hang out, just let me know in the comments below, and I'll start posting my Discord links into the descriptions below. But with that, we're gonna head out. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I wonder how long it is, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Thank you so much for watching me. You guys have a great day. See ya.